All right, so I'm here with John Warden from the Transformers brand
And
Ashley
Creedon.
And we are going to talk Combiner Wars and Titan Returns.
Okay.
How's that sound? So let's start with the big guy in the room, Fortress Maximus.
Well, Fortress Maximus is one of the biggest Transformers we've created. He has the ability to change into a city, which is pretty epic in and of itself. But what's unique about Fortress Maximus is his head actually removes, and then that head's head removes.
Yep.
So he's almost like a head within a head.
He's double headmaster.
He's double headmaster, which is really cool. So that gives you the ability to take any head from your deluxe Voyager leader, or even the Titan Master scale, and swap it out with the head of Fortress Maximus, and in theory take over the big city. So it's one of the things we keep talking about, that the smallest Transformer has the ability to take over the biggest Transformer. Fortress Maximus is special for San Diego Comic-Con because it not only does it have unique deco, unique labels, but it comes with the Master Sword, which the Master Sword hasn't been released since the 80s. It's a big deal. And this version comes with it. This is the one place that the US fans are going to be able to get it. And in addition to all of that, the Titan Master that comes with Cerebros, the head of the Super Titan Master that comes with Fortress Maximus, that head is unique, actually. You get the human face as seen in the animated series. And to cap it all off, you got a great package and also exclusive sounds that are available here at the convention. So he's great. He's really the cornerstone of the Titans Return line. But he's definitely got a big nemesis on the way in the form of Trypticon coming next year.
The vote winner. Correct. Last year we talked about the challenges that were associated with Devastator.
Yeah.
And he brought some. So what unique challenges did Fortress Maximus give you?
Well, Fortress Maximus really is a balancing act, quite literally based on his scale. You know, it's when you design a robot that's that big, the designer that worked on Med Masiello really had to take into account gravity, because you've got a lot of gravity coming down on that guy. He's got to have the strong hips to support it. You've got to have rigidity in the knees, and if you look at the engineering, it's inside of those hips. You've got big giant coil springs in there. You've got ratchet joints, and it's a heavy piece physically. So when you pick up the box, you'll see how physically heavy this thing really is, and a lot of that is the engineering just to keep them upright. One of the other big challenges on this was to keep that scale. We really had to kind of look at the details and try to get them to cost so that we could hit our $150 price point, and still deliver on, I think, what is really an epic promise to the fans. This is one of the most, Fortress Maximus has a history of being one of the physically biggest, physically biggest.
He is the tallest.
Transfer. He's the tallest back in the 80s. So he's got a reputation to uphold, and we wanted to make sure we do that justice.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be quite a challenge to not necessarily to make a big toy, but to make a big, well-articulated, transforming, fun toy.
That's absolutely right.
That's got to be a heck of a challenge.
Yep.
So, Combiner Wars is tapering. What would you say the lessons you learned from Combiner Wars were as you start working on Titan Returns? What did you really take away from that theme and that era?
Yeah, I wouldn't say Combiner Wars is tapering. We're definitely going out with a bang. We've got some incredible items planned. You've got Computron on its way. You've got an awesome item in the form of Lyle Kaiser, which is a big popular item coming out of the fans of the Japanese saga. But one of the things I feel like as we look back on Combiner Wars, you've got a big passionate fan base that wants a certain type of character, and I think that we try to do the best we could with the tooling that we had to really deliver on some of those characters. As Combiner Wars went on, we realized that we had to deliver not just new items, but also kind of deliver on fan expectations. So that's why when we started to bring out the Mayhem items like Groove, and I feel like now that Combiner Wars is drawing to a close, we were able to really get some really great insights in that you've got to really embrace all different sorts of fans. I think one of the biggest insights, Ashley, I think Ashley agrees with me on this one, is that we're not just making this stuff for adult fans anymore. We've got a big group of kids that are into this as well.
Fortunately, kids have lots of money. So.
I think that's what's fantastic, is that you don't just have adult fans. You've got a whole generation of fans, and I mean, Ashley, right? We saw so many kids today.
Yeah, we talked to lots of kids that came through and really love this ecosystem of play, that the heads can swap, that they can, really build out their Autobot city with their leader class figures as well, that work with it, and just a lot of fun for fans of all ages.
I mean, I think that's sort of been the case for adult fans as well, right? We would take our Scramble City you know, pop off one of Superion's arms and slap on a Menasor, and then you've got tons of play. So it's awesome to see those patterns sort of repeat themselves. And kids today aren't that different than we were. They just have iPads too.
Well, I think that's true, and I think there's no substitute for the bonding that you get when a father and a son, or a mother and a son, or father and daughter, mother and daughter play together. The power of play is really incredible. It really brings people together, and we're finding a lot of Transformers fans, adult fans, are passing down their hobby to their kids. And I think if we learned anything from Combiner Wars, and even through the initial research we've done for Titan's Return, it's that how important it is to embrace all generations in Transformers. It's really the future of the fan base is what we're dealing with.
So since you just brought that up, how about some more entries from Car Robots or Armada in sort of the
that's cool.
line,
That's
right?
cool.
I mean, it'd be great to see a Hot Shot hanging out again.
Yeah, it would.
And have
It would.
him incorporated, or an X-Brawn.
The designer I just hired, Aaron Gray, who's over there today. He grew up on our Armada.
Oh,
Isn't that crazy?
No, that's terrible.
No, but if you think about it,
I was in college for that.
It's fantastic. It's and there's definitely love for Armada, and I think that as we look to the future, let's not rule anything out. I think passion is passion, and we find there's fans of all those different eras. It's all Transformers, and I think it's cool.
So what do you have more fun with at this point? Revisiting an old G1 character, or breaking out something new like Victorian?
Wow, that's a tough
tough question, I know.
I think
that's what I'm here for.
Even when I revisit a G1 classic, we try to bring something new with it, whether it's a refined level of detail, whether it's delivering on a promise that, an articulation point that maybe was missing in the original G1 toy. That's just as exciting to me as bringing something to life like Victorian. But I think as we move the franchise forward, there's nothing more exciting than thinking about new blood and new sparks or whatever to bring to the table. That's really cool. I think that's the magic of working on a brand like Transformers, is we can do things like that, and the fan base, as passionate as they are, we can learn a lot from them. They did an incredible job choosing the elements of Victorian, and we think that's definitely going to be something we have in our line moving forward.
I mean, another great example is Drift.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right? Drift was a fantastic Generations toy and character, right? That's really come to life in the comics.
Totally.
So
yeah, now in the films as well, which is
in the
great.
films also.
Yeah.
I mean, so I love the new characters myself, because to a certain point you can only buy so many Optimuses.
Or Optimi.
That's correct, yes. Optimi. So I love seeing the new characters. So there are more on the horizon for Titan Returns, and will there be any surprises, any new headmasters coming our way?
Yeah, you still have to stay tuned. There's some definitely cool stuff, some unexpected surprises on the way. And definitely some cult favorites that people never would have thought they were gonna get a version of. It's all of that's on the horizon. I think if it's a testament to what we're doing we did characters like Skull Smasher and Wolfwire. Characters like that are I've had fans come up to me before. I was like, I never thought I'd ever get another Skull Cruncher toy before, but you did it. And I think let's not rule anything out. I think cool toys are cool toys. We had a kid, right, that came up and said that Skull Smasher was his favorite Transformer. He had no idea that Skull Cruncher was an 80s toy. He just loves the fact that he turns into a crocodile.
Where'd he get that?
Or alligator? Is he turning into an alligator? Or? Yeah, it's probably from his dad, yeah.
Cool. So as we wrap up here, other than Fortress Maximus, because that one's the easy answer.
Oh yeah.
Which of the Titan Returns toys are you most proud of?
Wow, that is a hard one. Well, it changes all the time. But I think of the ones that we see there now, Blaster really is one of my favorites, and this is actually sort of a personal story. When I was a fan in the 80s, like a lot of us, I was a nerdy kid, and I was in a lot of art programs. I was like in a special art program after school, and I made a giant mosaic for my library. And after school, I would go there and I'd break up mosaic tiles, and I built this 10-foot tall mosaic of Blaster out of gray and black tile.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it hung in my public library for maybe 10 years or so. So for me, Blaster, and it was a Blaster, it was this giant, Blaster-like robot. And so doing a toy of Blaster really, was great. Think about, I'm just not just a little kid making a mosaic. I'm actually making a real toy that, thousands of fans are going to be able to play with. It's a pretty powerful feeling.
Some kid will be in his library somewhere and making a mosaic of that.
Maybe he'll decide to be a toy designer someday. That's
cool.
Great.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, John.
You bet,
Ashley,
man.
thanks so much.